Hi and welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another episode of Bayley Made It. So yeah, just like my last couple of vlogs, I'm going to show you everything that I am working on creatively yeah, over the past kind of 2 weeks. And if I sound a little bit stuffed up, it's because I've had a cold, but I feel much better now, but my sinuses are still a little bit blocked up. But I was just sitting here working on this and I thought, hey, this is the kind of thing I should be putting in my vlogs. So yeah, I thought I would show you what I'm doing. So a couple of days ago I was going through the comments on my last vlog and I can't remember who said it, but I will put their name on the screen here. And they suggested, amongst a lot of other really good suggestions, but this person suggested that I turn my failed Oslo hat into a little project bag, and I thought that was genius. So thank you so much for commenting that. I could have probably looked at some videos on how I would do that, but I decided to just wing it. So yeah, I have some scrap yarn here that I am just using. So all I did was took my failed hat and I kind of thought about it for a little while on how I could do it. I think the comment did mention lining it, but I don't think I'll actually have to line it. I think it will be just fine to use. It's going to be really small, but I might use it for sock projects or things like that. But all I'm doing is going through and putting the scrap yarn through the stitches, and then I'm hoping that once I've gone all the way around I can just pull it like a drawstring and this will seal it up, and that will be the base of the bag, so you won't really see that it's garter stitch. And then after that I'm going to figure out how to kind of make a drawstring on the top. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm going to go ahead and pick up all the stitches around the bottom and then I'll show you what I do next. Okay, so it's finished. I just did a really loose, I don't know if there's a name for that kind of stitch, but I just did a really loose hand stitch through the top, and then I did a knot, and it acts as a really nice drawstring. So there you go, a little project bag made out of my failed Oslo hat. So thank you so much to the person who commented with this idea. I really love it. And I think I might use this bag for my socks because it's a really good size for a small project. And I'm about to cast on my first pair of socks, so yeah, I might use this. So thank you again for this comment. Let me know if you have some scrap yarn that you think you might make something like this with. Really cool. Super glad to have done that. So now I have a little bit of time before I have to pick up the boys from school and I need to finish my washing and things. But first of all, I'm going to cast on my socks because my needles did come in the mail. So the needles I'm using are definitely the smallest needles I have used so far. And I just followed what was recommended on the YouTube tutorial. So these are 2.25 millimeters. I got a set of 5. So yeah, these are definitely the smallest needles I have worked on so far. But yeah, now I'm going to cast on my very first ever pair of socks, and like I did in the last vlog, I will leave the tutorial that I'm using down in the description box in case you would like to knit your first pair of socks alongside me. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do now. Okay, so I've cast on all the stitches to one needle. Now I'm splitting them up, and in case you're wondering about the yarn, this is from Mama Wooling. I will leave her website link down below if you're in New Zealand, and this is the colorway Bonfire, and I've got the little tag here. But it is 85% extra fine merino and 15% nylon, and it's superwash. And yeah, I'm hoping I can get both pairs of socks out of this. I've done my research and that should be fine. So I'm going to keep on going with this. Okay, so I think it's time for a bit of a sweater update. So I have finished knitting the body. I'm up to the ribbing now, but it does say in the pattern to try it on before you start the ribbing to make sure it's long enough. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to try it on. It's going to look ridiculous because it's got no sleeves. I'm going to put it on this stuff, whatever you call this, so I can try it on and I'll show you what it looks like. And I'm going to decide if I need to add a bit more length or if I think that I am ready to do the ribbing, which is pretty exciting because I can't wait to start the sleeves because I think it'll just make it look a lot more like a sweater. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do now. I'm sure most of you know about this stuff, but I think it's pretty magic. I think this one was just called a Lifeline, and I got them in a set of 3 different sizes for about $9. You could probably get it cheaper than that, but I thought that was pretty good. And all you do is you just attach it to the end of your needle and kind of push it on, and it creates a bit of a suction so it doesn't come off easily. So I'm going to put that on one side, and then the other one. This length is probably way more than I need to try this on, but that's okay. So now that both ends are attached, I can stretch out the stitches, and now I'm just going to try it on. Again, it's going to look a bit silly without the sleeves, but let's give it a whirl. It doesn't feel itchy at all. This yak yarn is so nice and soft, but I think it's definitely long enough. It's hard to see, but I think there is 6 or 8 centimeters of ribbing, so I feel like by the time I add that, and it'll probably stretch out a bit when I block it, so I think it is long enough. I think I can go ahead and start the ribbing, and it's fitting me so far. This is the kind of the fit that I wanted. I didn't want it to be too oversized, this one, so I think it's just nice, and because it's not itchy, I don't have to wear a super long sleeve or anything underneath it. I could just wear a singlet or a t-shirt. So yeah, I think that looks pretty good. I'm still unsure if I did the yoke right, but yeah, I think this is long enough. So I'm going to go ahead and start the ribbing, and I'll give you a little update about how much yarn I have used. So this is all that's left of my first skein of mohair and my second skein of the 8-ply. Yeah, so that's all that's left. So I'm about to start my second ball of mohair, and I still have 2 skeins, so I'm really confident that I'm definitely going to have enough, and that I'll probably have some left over. Yeah, so that's good. I think I'm on track, and I'm definitely not going to run out of yarn, which has been a problem for me recently. So I'm really happy about that. I'm going to cake up another skein of this, just so I'm all ready, and then I just change to a smaller needle and I start the ribbing. So I'm going to work on that today, and I'm really hoping that this week I will be able to start on the sleeves. I don't see why I wouldn't be able to. So yeah, that's really exciting. It's getting closer, and because it is August now, I really want to get this finished because I do want to have some time to wear it before the weather warms up, because here in New Zealand we are in winter. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to start the ribbing, and then it'll be just about time to go and get the boys, and I might take this in the car with me so I can do a bit while I'm waiting for them to finish school as well. Okay, so it's a couple of days later now, and I have finished the ribbing on my sweater, and I have done the bind off. I don't know if I cast it off correctly, because she said to look at the video, but I couldn't find a video on the channel that I have been watching for Petite Knit techniques. So yeah, I just did the only bind off I know how to do. I don't even know if there's a special name for it, but yeah, I tried it on and it fits perfectly. It's not too long, and I think it will stretch a little bit when I block it. So I'm really happy about that, but now I'm just going to take just a day or two's break from it before I pick up the stitches from the sleeves, because I really want to do a good job with those and I don't want to rush into it. So I'm going to do it over the weekend where I have time to sit and think. So that's a little update, and I've also been working on something else that I wanted to share with you. So I'm going to say goodbye to this just for the next day or so, and I'll show you what I've been working on. You can probably see behind me too, Mike made a box castle for Luna to play in. It's 3 stories high, and it's kind of like a maze inside. So we don't have a lot of room in our house, but right now we have this because we like to make new things for Luna since she's an indoor cat, and we thought this would be good because we can just pop it in the recycling when she's done with it, and Tobias has quite liked playing with it as well. So yeah, you can see that in the background. But I thought I would show you what I have been working on. For a while I've really wanted to try and make my own clay stitch markers. It's really hard in New Zealand to find cute stitch markers There's not many people who sell them online, or it doesn't seem like there is. So I thought I would have a go at making some, and I decided to make them out of polymer clay because I'd seen some other people do that and they're really light so they won't pull down on your knitting or anything like that. And I just bought some, so I got some of the clay here, it's wrapped in Glad wrap, but I bought some of the Sculpey, I don't know how to pronounce that, clay. I just bought 4 colours to start with because I'd never worked with it before, and I watched a few tutorials on how to bake it correctly in the oven and how to glaze it. And yeah, I'm really happy with the ones I've made so far. So I've made, this is going to be really hard to show you. I might insert some footage here, but I made some progress keepers or stitch markers. And then I also made a whole lot of little ones that I'm just going to put on the little ring that actually sit on your needle, if that makes sense. So that's what I'm going to work on now. I'm going to work on doing another glaze on the other side, and then once that's dry I'm going to make some of these up, and I'm going to use these myself, and I'm also going to put some in my store, and I think I'm just going to sell them in little containers like this so that they can be kept in a project bag. And I would like to sell these internationally because they're so small and light, but I don't think I could send them in a little container because it'll just push it up to a package, where I think if I sold them flat on a piece of cardboard, I could sell them internationally and they could go as just letter mail. You can see Luna playing in her castle right now. So yeah, that's not going to be ready straight away to sell them internationally, I don't think, but if I can, I will let you guys know. I also want to use them for a while and make sure that they don't break or anything. They don't feel like they're going to. They feel like they were baked up in the oven really well. So yeah, I'm having a lot of fun making these. I really enjoy kind of learning how to do new things. So that's what I'm going to work on now. I'm going to glaze these and then put some of them together. So this is the glaze I am using. It's just the Sculpey gloss glaze, and I'm just doing 1 coat on each side. Okay, so it's an hour later now, and I have made 6 little sets of stitch markers. They look really cute in the little containers. I really enjoyed it. They're a lot of fun to make. My hands are sore now though from using the, I don't even know where they are, using the pliers and opening and closing the little rings. So I might have to look at some like jewelry making vlogs and see what people do, what other equipment they use to save their hands, because now the tips of my fingers are all really sensitive. But I'm really happy with how these turned out, and I will show you in my next vlog a bit more of the making process. If you're interested in that, leave me a comment down below and I'll show you how I actually make them, how I mix the clay colors and bake them. I just really wanted to try it out this time. I actually did it last night, and yeah, I wanted to try it out without having to worry about filming it as well, since it was my first time. And I don't really need to add another craft to what I am doing right now, but I really wanted some cute stitch markers for myself, and that's kind of how my project bag started as well. I just wanted that for myself, and then I decided to sell them. So these will be on my felt store as well if you're looking for stitch markers, but just for now, only in New Zealand till I figure that out. Luna's jumping up. But I am going to end this vlog here. Hopefully in the next one I'll be able to show you the sleeves of my Novice sweater. I really wanted to show you my granny blanket progress, so I'll add that to my list for my next vlog. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this one. I hope I inspired you to go ahead and do something creative or work on a project that you've had sitting around for a while. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!